Minister, you're very welcome to the House, and I very much welcome the clarity of your statement. It's a statement that I could only expect from somebody of the integrity of yourself. I think your stature in this country as a politician of great integrity and honesty is well known and has been reinforced this week. I have to say, after the week's events, that you are one of the only voices in government that I actually find I can believe. Because unfortunately I've come to the conclusion that I can't believe a blind word that comes from the mouth of the Taoiseach, and I can't believe a blind word that comes from the mouth of the Taoiseach. But I can believe you. Minister, I was a primary school principal in a school, and we had files in our school. And the filing cabinet within that held those files was probably the most sacred place in the entire school. Nobody got access to it. Nobody went near it. Nobody was allowed to take anything out of it without making sure it went straight back in again. And anybody who got access to the room in which that filing cabinet was in was absolutely strictly overseen by me and by people working with me. Now, the idea in my little primary school that a cut and paste effort could be misput or misplaced into a file pertaining to another child is just absolutely unthinkable. It just is unthinkable in a small little primary school of 100 children. Now, the idea of all the files in all the world that a cut and paste effort could arrive in Maurice McCabe's file just isn't credible. And the problem here is, as has been alluded to already by Senator Conway Walsh, that citizens of this country now believe that the state can take them down. They'll find a way to take them down if they feel that they're a threat. Now, I can appreciate the difficulties you're having, Minister, because myself and my party, we went through this for 5 years, dealing with shambolic handling of justice issues after shambolic handling of justice issues, and we had to, I suppose, keep the show on the road because we had an economic crisis and it wasn't worth plunging the country into an election because of the nature of what we were dealing with. But we had a Minister for Justice on the bloody television leaking bits of information about what he knew about a deputy in the House, how he behaved on his phone at a traffic lights. And then we had a Taoiseach who effectively fired the Commissioner without telling anybody of his government parties, including the Taoiseach. Absolutely outrageous stuff. And we had to drag them kicking and screaming for any concession, any change, in any way in the justice portfolio. They didn't want to know about the policing authority. They didn't want to know about the policing authority until they were shamed into it. They didn't want to know about half of it. They have no comprehension of what equality and justice really means. It's polling company stuff.
That's ridiculous.
It's polling company stuff. And that is our experience in government.
That's ridiculous.
That fundamentally, they don't have an instinct for what is just and what is right until it comes to the point of disaster and the point of no return. And now we're at the situation. Where Brexit doesn't matter. And you have we have various different reports happening in these houses today that would put ministers under pressure any other time of year. But now we're dealing with a situation that I genuinely don't want to say this, but I can't believe a word that comes out of Enda Kenny's mouth.
That's ridiculous.
I genuinely don't want to be the person who says that, but I can't believe a word that comes out of his mouth because his presentation of what's happened over the last couple of days just isn't credible. And the media performances from other members of government over the last number of days just aren't credible. And what we are dealing with now, Cathaoirleach, is a family whose names have been destroyed. You have people in this country wondering, I wonder, why would I bother being a whistleblower? What happens if I see a great injustice in the institution that I work in? What if I see an absolute and terrible wrong? Why would I stand up? Because the agencies of this state will just pick me off and do me down. And then the very people in public life who are supposed to be there to defend you, they can't remember or they pretend they can't remember, or they give a kind of a presentation of events which just can't be believed. So in my half minute, I'll say this much. Now, I have absolute faith in the Minister here in front of us, and her presentation of what happened over the last number of days, the fact that she was willing to meet the McCabe family, the fact that she signed them in, there was nothing private about it, and the fact that she's standing with them today. Again, I commend you for your statements. But I know what you're dealing with. I know what you're dealing with. And until the senior members of this government cop on to the fact that in this republic, it's just as though the gods may fall. And until they cop on to that fact, we're going to return to this issue again and again and again.
Senator Cross.